Well, folks, it's that time of year again. Leaves are falling off of trees, people are dressing up as monsters or other creatures of the night, and so, for some people there's not much of a difference, and jack-o'-lanterns are donning porches. Or they're crushed in the middle of the street by people who have nothing better to do with their time, and you know who you are. Yes, it's Halloween. And you know what that means, right? Time to start working on all those projects I've been putting off.
Then maybe it's time to start taking up knitting?
No! It's time for a Halloween special. Halloween, a holiday celebrated once a year to go to random people's homes, get free candy, try to wolf it down in all one night, and spend the next day picking it all back up. It goes against everything most of our parents taught us. Maybe that's why so many people like it. In any case, after digging through my library, I decided to rewatch a Bargain Bin special, and quickly remembered why I haven't watched it in a while. It's not too bad, but it's nothing to rave about either. This is Igor. Talk about a movie that takes an interesting idea and says, you know, that sounds all well and good, but we can make it even worse. Better. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Mad scientists are very intriguing, and let's admit it. We've all had that moment in our lives where we've entertained the thought and said, wouldn't that be fun? Some people can obviously make it work, and work quite well. The only place I really remember a character named Igor from was Young Frankenstein, which is an absolute laugh riot. That is, until I watched this movie. Now, I've always thought of Igor as something of a comic relief. They're not the main focus of the film, and I can honestly say that I've never been kept up at night waiting for the day that they made a movie where he was the main focus. Well, yippee-ki-yay, here you go. Now, I'm not really sure what I expected from this, going into it thinking that it was supposed to be funny, but not quite sure how it was going to be pulled off. I did not expect, nor did I really want, a philosophical movie about how Igors are just misunderstood and kept down by the man. And while they were at it, they decided to make a love story in a somewhat sweet but mostly creepy way. And now that I've seen it, I've got to tell you folks all about it. Why else would you be here? Well then, let's get started, shall we? We begin with Igor, played by John Cusack, introducing us to the lovely land of Malaria, explaining the unfortunate dichotomy hovering over the land. Those who want to become anyone of any renown, provided they aren't born with a hunch on their back, become mad scientists, who create horrifying monstrosities which they threaten to unleash upon the world unless the world throws huge sums of money at them so they keep them at bay. Nice to see these people taking after the President and Congress, throwing huge piles of money at something and hoping that the problem just goes away.
What do they do with those creations afterward?
Don't know, don't care. Never really explained it anyways.
Go figure.
The problem for John Cusack's character is that he is really smart, but he's a hunchback, so he must be an Igor. Glad to see that never happens in our society.
Well, what about the civil rights movement?
I was being...
Or how about the women's rights movement?
Really, guys, I was just...
What about the Mormon extermination order?
Alright, shut up! I was being facetious!
Oh, why didn't you just say so? Getting back to the movie, where was I? Oh yeah. So he invents in secret because if he's discovered not staying in the station assigned by society and cruel fate in general, he'll be ground into bits and spare parts for wonderful other evil creations. Fortunately for him, his master is too dim-witted to realize what he's doing, and somehow not noticing Igor has already created two life forms, Scamper, a suicidal cat-rabbit thing, cursed with immortality, and a dim-witted robot brain. It's funny because it's ironic, right? Right? Whatever. Unfortunately for Igor, his master's voice actor, John Cleese, was hired by the same type of people Bethesda used to hire their big-name voice talent, meaning he gets killed off not quite 15 minutes into the movie. So, Igor has the chance to create his most dastardly creation ever, provided no one finds out it was actually him. Or he could tell the truth about his master killing himself unintentionally, and in turn get killed himself. Yeah, I think I'd go with keeping it a secret as well. I kind of like to live, and we're only 20 minutes into the movie. What are we expecting to happen? So, Igor creates Life, basically a female version of Frankenstein, with no desire to do anything evil at all. Obviously, this won't work, so he tries to make her evil by giving her a brainwash. But with Igor's track record, that too goes wrong. And instead of an axe-murdering psychopath, he ends up with exactly what he didn't want. A singing, dancing actress who wants to spread love and joy the world over.
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong!
Desperately trying to figure out how to make this work to his advantage, he convinces Eva, as she so aptly named herself when Igor was trying to convince her she was evil, that she's starring in a twisted version of Annie, where she destroys all the other inventions.
What does he hope to accomplish by doing all of this?
Huh?
Really, what does he want to accomplish with all of this? Does he want to rule the world? Just change his fate and prove to everyone he's not a nobody? Or maybe that people can rise above their stations in life and become whoever they want to if they work hard enough and put enough dedication into it. Perhaps then everyone will realize superficial labels are simply that, and that everyone is special, unique in their own way and can succeed. That people have the right to succeed, the right to fail, the right to pursue their own happiness. That life is not going to be handed to them on a silver platter, or anything worth having is worth working for. That hopes and dreams are something that can become reality, but if you chase after them and are willing to take a risk, maybe he just wants to create his own girlfriend. What an idiotic! You don't really think that.
Actually, that's pretty much exactly what he does.
Oh, you have got to be me. What a bunch of moronic, stupid...
Yeah. Where were we?
He created his own girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right. He creates his own girlfriend and starts to have second thoughts about making her evil. The whole time not seeing the irony in himself trying to get out of his role of an Igor by forcing the role of a monster on Eva. But he can't quite bring himself to...
Tell her the
Truth!
No way!
Yeah, because telling the truth is so overrated, right?
So, now is he going to tell her the truth?
Yes, he does eventually tell her the truth. Stop rushing things. But before he can tell her the truth, he has to deal with some sort of conflict. So we need to go back to the beginning of the movie, where we skipped over Dr. Schadenfreude, an evil scientist who is actually just a fraud, and delights in the misfortune of others. Somehow wins the Best Scientist of the Year award every year by stealing the best invention from one of the other scientists in the land. How he gets away with this? I have no idea. I mean, you think one of the scientists would recognize, hey, that's my invention, and try to stop him, right? But that would start to make too much sense, and since this movie really hasn't done that to begin with, why should it start now? Dr. Schadenfreude figures out the doctor killed himself and that Igor created Eva. And since no one has ever created life, he must figure out a way to steal Eva and pass her off as his creation so he can overthrow the current king of the land, King Malbert, and overcome the shame of his family being pickle makers before Malaria became the evil downtrodden place that it is now. Dr. Schadenfreude first tries reasoning with Igor by treating him to a relaxing hot tub soak and a brief stint in the sauna, telling him that everything will be peaches and cream if he lets him steal Eva and overthrow the king, which is in Igor's best interest. However, the idea of stepping on others is where Schadenfreude crosses the line and Igor lets out a mighty "aw hell nah" and books it back to the castle.
So, now is he going to tell her the truth?
Not yet, my friend. Not yet. So, before we can have the truth come out, Dr. Schadenfreude has one last ace up his sleeve. Heidi.
The big-breasted bimbo.
Who is she?
one of Dr. Schadenfreude's girlfriend's alter egos.
And how does she change shapes like that?
With some pills Dr. Schadenfreude stole from another scientist before the movie started. So, Heidi starts putting the moves on Igor just long enough for Eva to see him cheating on her and gets jealous. Schadenfreude takes Eva, makes her evil, and unleashes her in the evil science fair. And, oh yeah, King Malbert comes by to figure out that Igor's master is dead, has him thrown into the horrible recycling bin of doom. But not to worry, because Scamper and Brain jump down the chute 5 to 10 minutes later and instantly catch up to Igor just in time to save him from becoming spare body parts. They escape through a conveniently placed hidden passageway, which leads Igor to find out that King Malbert created a weather manipulator machine which is keeping Malaria in the dark evil state that it's in. Yes, now he tells her. So, through the magical power of truth and reason, Igor jumps down the tower, tells Eva he's sorry, exposes King Malbert for the liar that he is, then becomes president of the land. Happy, happy, blah blah blah, the end. There you have it. A fun little movie propelled along by convenience, puns, and other disjointed means. Plenty of big names trying to hold the movie afloat, but it doesn't really hit any sort of greatness. It's not horrible, it's adequate. Something to keep you entertained for about an hour 20 minutes. So if that's what you're looking for, then you'll be entertained. And then you'll just forget about it. Like I should have a long time ago.
Maybe I'm jaded and bored, always looking for more, waiting around for the next big fix. I know I'm a wreck, I'm a mess, but I couldn't care less. Don't know what it would take to change me. Everybody's so afraid to be different. Please excuse me now if I don't get it. I think sex is over.
I don't want to hear your toilet memoirs, you cretin! I give you 5 minutes a week to take care of your business. I'm not running a resort here!
All the things it's done to me, how can I